You are listening to the Tampa Motormouth in the zone, behind the microphone, on the Sports Shuffle podcast.
And of course, breaking as the biggest story, although not really breaking, but pretty much breaking all of Sunday, all of yesterday, very appropriate on the day that we usually enjoy most of the football games out there. Of course, hashtag Darrell, hashtag Revis, hashtag Revis Island, hashtag Treasure Island is now they're calling him with the Bucks, as they put up as the Bucks Life in the official poster cover photo on their Facebook page, welcoming 124, who keeps his number, to the Buccaneer franchise. This posted on yesterday, 5 p.m. on ProFootballTalk.com by Mike Florio. The articles, there are already the fact that there were other teams that they thought that kind of maybe weren't really in the hunt, and that's the whole reason why the Jets paused everything. They wanted to stick feelers out there, see if anybody else wanted to bite. Nobody really did, as it was putting out there, well, it's 60-40 that the deal gets done. And I saw Roto World put out a 75% chance that the deal gets done, and now the deal is done, as this is per a source with knowledge of the contract. Quarterback Darrelle Revis has signed a 6-year, $96 million deal with the Buccaneers, and it's a pay-as-you-go $16 million annual contract. Get this, folks, none of it is guaranteed. So therefore, it becomes a 1-year deal, basically with a series of 5 1-year team-held options. The Bucks choose to keep Revis. They'll pay him $16 million per year for the privilege of doing so. If when the Bucks decide that Revis isn't earning his keep, or maybe they just have injury problems or whatever, or attitude deal, Bucks can kind of boom. He's like, okay, thank you. Yeah, there's your money. Okay, you can go. And this, of course, when the blog post as a practical matter, it means Revis will earn $16 million for this year and probably $16 million for 2014. I'm just curious to see if they keep him longer than 2 years. Just curious. When you have a deal like that, I don't think I've ever heard about a deal like that before, ever. Then if he plays and he's super Revis, if he is who we thought he is, of course, a take on then we are who they thought they were. If he is who we thought he is, then he gets, maybe will they readjust the deal, or will they just re-sign him? So here we go, and of course then an update 521 from Manish Mehta, M-E-H-T of the New York Daily News reports that $16 million per year comes from a $13 million base salary, $1.5 million roster bonus, and a $1.5 million workout bonus. So it's and what if he holds out that could you imagine? He's traded to Tampa, all this ballyhoo, here comes the new season, number one defense wins championships. You might have heard that saying. Then Revis decides to hold out for more money. I don't think he would be crazy enough to do that. Do you? I don't think he would. I don't think when I saw a sports shuffler, Kevin, on that Facebook thingy mentioning that he thinks the Bucks are making a little bit of a mistake. Haven't seen anyone else weigh in quite yet, but you have two parties like, yeah, way to go, all right, way to go, good deal, and the other party, yeah, I don't know, not so sure. And it seems like the Bucks didn't give up quite as much as we all thought they were going to give up, other than a crap load of money. And basically, Darrelle Revis is the Bucks' first pick in the draft, because that's one of the that's part of the deal. So we already end up getting our first round draft pick. It's Darrelle Revis. Pretty much that's how everything works out. But just kind of curious if you're happy with the deal, if you're not happy with the deal, if you think Mark Dominic is nuts. Well, so just let me know on the Facebook Shuffle page. I have yet to partake of the morning meal and caffeine charge up for the day. So my usual one that usually I do in the morning. And then usually lately, as I mentioned in the last podcast that I'm sure at least maybe 1.5 people listen to, that I can get all the way to the evening before needing another jolt, another shot. So yeah, crazy stuff. So that's pretty much Darrelle Revis, one of the more unique deals in the entire history of the NFL. It's every year it's an option. It's $16 million. Okay, let's look. Did he do well? Did he do what he wanted us? Did he do what we wanted him to do? Did he do what we wanted him to do? Did he... come on. Tell me you're not like this when you wake up. Come on, seriously, folks. Come on. Tell me this is not you when you wake up. When you're going, it's Monday, it's morning, I'm trying to process everything. Yeah, okay. But that's what it is. Was it a huge trade? Was it a huge mistake? Let me know on the Facebook Shuffle Rooney page here with the Tampa.
You're in the zone with the Tampa Motormouth.
Course, wasn't all about Darrelle Revis yesterday, as we might have had some baseball games. That's right, including Royals 4, Red Sox 2. How about the whole thing where the FCC decided to look the other way with the Big Pappy's expletive? Like, yeah, well, given the circumstances, what happened, yeah, well, it would look bad if we fined Big Pappy or the Boston Red Sox. Yeah, probably so. Good call by the FCC on that, as unfortunately, yeah, the Red Sox got swept by the Royals. Second affair was a extra innings game, and the first one they lost by 2. Then how about Mark Trumbo homering, leading off, bottom of the 11th, and Albert Pujols doubling 2 home runs. Trumbo's walk-off on the 13th did it for the Angels. So they ended up winning. Just a 3-1 pitch. Trumbo just drove the 3-1 pitch. I mean, it was gone. It was just... It was like, that's a rocket. Or it's going. It's out into the street. It's up into the stratosphere. The birds are flying evasive maneuvers. And all the appropriate right. So, then the Rangers over the Mariners, 11-3. Nelson Cruz hit his 5th career grand slam. One of 4 home runs for the Texas Rangers, and they swept the Mariners. Indians over the Astros only by 1 run, as opposed to 19-6. Yeah, Indians beat them again. Doesn't look like they swept them, but Mark Reynolds would get his 7th home run of the season, put Cleveland on top for the 7th inning, and the Indians would hold on for a win over the Astros. Twins over the White Sox, 5-3, as Josh Wellington had a tie-breaking 3-run double. Minnesota's 4-run 7th inning, leading the Twins over the victory over the slumping White Sox. Of course, the Rays swept the Oakland A's, swept the Athletics. Roberto Hernandez looking good for the first time this season after his somewhat other shaky starts. 6 effective innings of ball. And Oakland starter Tommy Malone now 3-1. Hernandez now 1-3. Jake McGee and Brandon Ohms helped completing the 3-hitter. And I guess it's just the excuse-moi. The trick is you play DJ music in the clubhouse, and then you had a magician doing card tricks on Sunday. Court Gaines and Rays Index has a priceless picture, and up there you just have to look at the looks. Look at the looks. That's the reason. Look at the looks of both David Price and Don Zimmer. Their looks are like, WTF? Okay, magician? What? WTF? Seriously? So crazy, but race weekend are done. Some team you might have heard they're playing the next 3 nights, all-night games. 7:10 starts. Wednesdays usually, which are 1:40 afternoon or 1 o'clock-ish matinees. Not with the Yankees, they're not. Yeah, some team from New York. You might have never have heard of. Yankees. Yeah, Rays are playing them. I think they were just recently added to the league. Then, of course, we go to went down.
You're in the zone. In the zone with the Temper Motormouth.
As Jerome Jagger would score his second goal as a member of the Bruins, and Boston ended a 4-game winless streak with a 3-0 victory over the Florida Panthers on Sunday. Ducks over the Oilers 3-1. They're all wondering if what was going to happen first, the Ducks game going to start or the Angels game going to end with how long. That is almost a 4-hour game for the Angels. As for the Ducks, Cam Fowler, Kyle Palomari, and Corey Perry would all score to help put Anaheim on the brink of clinching the Pacific Division with a win over Edmonton Oilers. The Ducks could have clinched the division title if the Kings had lost to Dallas in regulation, but that game went to overtime. Anaheim can seal it with another win over the Oilers tonight. Oilers' last playoff appearance came in a Game 7 loss in the 2006 Stanley Cup Finals against Carolina. So, Kings and Stars. Speaking of the overtime affair, Jeff Carter deflected the winning goal off his upper body with 15 seconds left in overtime. Los Angeles seized fourth place in the Western Conference with a W over the Big D. Captain Dustin Brown scored 2 goals for the defending Stanley Cup champions, and Mike Richards scored an early goal before putting the puck off of Carter's chest for the overtime winner. The Kings 26-14-5 moved 2 points clear of San Jose for the 4th place and home ice advantage in the first round after the Sharks lost to the Blue Jackets. Seriously? Avalanche 5, Blues 3, as Jamie McGinn scored twice. Jean-Sebastien Giguere, hopefully I said that right, Giguere, stopped 29 shots in Colorado, prevented St. Louis from wrapping up a playoff spot. Of course, the other game, Blue Jackets 4, Sharks 3. Ryan Johansson scored the tie-breaking goal with 1 minute 37 left remaining to give Columbus a big boost for its push to the playoffs with the victory over San Jose. Mark Letestu scored twice, and Vinny Prospal, former Lightning player, also had a goal for the Blue Jackets, who moved in a tie for 7th place with Minnesota. The Western Conference with 51 points. Columbus had played more than one game, and when Columbus has played more than one more game than the Wild, that's easy for me to say, and 2 more than 9th place Detroit, who is 3 points back in the race for the final playoff spot. And Marty Havlat, Andrew Desjardins, and Joe Pavelski all scored for the Sharks, who needed only to take the game to overtime to clinch a 9 straight playoff berth. Antiniemi made 18 saves, Rangers 4, Devils 1, as Ryan Callahan scored a goal in the opening minute, another in the third period, and New York eliminated New Jersey from the playoff race. Flames 4, Wild 1. Joey McDonald would make 34 saves, and Calgary handed Minnesota a potentially harmful home loss, its first playoff push. Zach Parise got his team-high 17th goal for the Wild, who will likely at least need to win 2 of their 3 remaining games to make the playoffs without help from others. They're in 7th place in the Western Conference with 51 points, while Columbus, Detroit, Dallas, and Phoenix remain in a tight pack, still alive behind them. Hurricanes 3, Lightning 2, as Alexander Semin scored 16 seconds in the game for the Hurricanes, who jumped ahead 3-0 and held on to their first victory against the Lightning this season. Semin took a feed from the slot from Eric Stahl, whipped it over the shoulder of Andres Lindback. Semin also had 2 assists. Steven Stamkos and Martin St. Louis scored from Lightning, who lost their 6th straight. Ellis turned away 15 of 16 shots in the period, including point blank opportunities by Eric Brewer, Ryan Malone, and B.J. Crombie. Yeah, well, didn't think the Lightning were going to be in the playoffs anyway, did we? Nope. I don't know about you. I know I didn't. So there you go. Crazy that the Toronto Maple Leafs are actually in the playoffs. Anywho, getting ready for a Yankee triple with the Rays. We take on the Evil Empire with the Rays. Not quite the team they used to be with pitching with Wade Davis and James Shields gone. The Yankees, of course, injury-ridden. The question is, which team wants it more? I think it's a key series. It really is a key series, as both teams are having their individual problems. It's just a question of which team can sort of, if either team can sweep each other. For the Yankees, it'll get them in the going the right direction. Sweep the Rays, it'll install some much-needed confidence after a rocky start. Both teams just absolutely not exactly stellar to start off the season. But anywho, that's it for me. You are still you unless you're somebody else. Don't forget, Sports Shuffle question of the day, Darrell Revis, big trade, big mistake. Go ahead and let me know how you feel about it on the Sports Shuffle page. Or you can even ask the question that everyone has to this point ignored that I end up putting up there. Yeah. So anywho, I will talk.
Thank you for listening to the Sports Shuffle podcast. Don't forget to like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter. Till next time, hope you stay in the zone.